If I asked you to describe the average Garou player in one word, what would it be? Toxic? Sweaty? Try hard? Annoying? Because these words are only a fraction of the words Garou players are called on the daily. To be 100% certain these statistics were true, I interviewed several candidates. Hey there.
Hey,
What comes to mind when I say Garou?
honestly, the guys who play him are always pretty sweaty. Never a moment of peace with them around.
Okay. Candidate 2. What comes to mind when you hear the word Garou?
I think it's pronounced Garou.
Just answer the question.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure you pronounced it wrong. Okay, well, they're always pretty toxic and never really let me have any fun. I just get spawn killed by them most of the time.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Wait, I thought you said there was only one question.
This one's important?
Okay.
Ahem.
Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over you.
Apologies for getting a little off track there. Anyway, it's clear from the, witnesses that Garou players don't typically have the best of reputations. There's reasons for everything, though, and in today's video, we'll be covering the reasons why Garou is such a popular character, and also why you should play him. So without further ado, here's Garou. With this move by doing this. His fourth move, the counter, is called Praise Peril. It can deal up to 22% to the primary and secondary targets, although it's quite difficult to hit both for the full damage. This move can also reflect Blitz Shot and Exploding Shuriken. Even without me needing to explain it, you can probably tell that his moveset is very solid in general, which brings me to the next point of discussion. His combos. When it comes to comboing people, Garou is pretty special. There's a lot of variation when it comes to his combo, which are all useful for different situations, with the most famous one being Kyoto, which I'm sure you've all probably heard of at some point. The combo and the creator of the combo share the same name. And by the way, if you haven't heard of the Kyoto combo, we're not talking about the Japanese city. It's a combo in game. I'm not quite sure what it is with the player base and this combo, because they absolutely love it, but regardless, it's quite difficult to pull off, which I imagine is part of the reason. It also got nerfed a little while back, so now it's much harder to do. This is what it looks like. The main reason his combos are so good is the fact that you can perform unescapable combos like Kyoto, which do nearly your entire health bar. Now that we've covered his base kit and base combos, let's give his cooldowns a little spotlight. This here is a Garou player. This Garou player is very happy because all of his abilities have low cooldowns. This means that he can fight, combo, and survive more often. With that out the way now, let's cover his ult, and why it's very suitable for 1v1 scenarios. And by the way, if you're wondering what Stickiness is, trust me, it isn't what you think, and we'll cover that right after. Anyways, Garou's ult is actually considered by most players to be the worst ultimate moveset in the game. But it makes you wonder, why is he so popular then? Well, being the worst ult doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, it just means that compared to other ultimate, it doesn't perform as well. Outside of the Awakening, every other ultimate move in the game, besides Garou's, has some form of large area of effect. Garou's ult focuses solely on one person at a time, plus the move speed the ult gives you lets him excel at 1v1s. This is why he's popular. Similar to his base moveset, each one of his ultimate moves, and his Awakening, is capable of damaging secondary targets. His Awakening is about 12 tiles in width. It deals up to 30% damage to enemies close to the center, and damage lessens the further away you are from the impact. It knocks up all players it hits. His first ultimate move is called Water Stream Rock Smashing. It deals 28% to the primary target and 25% to a secondary target if the entire move hits them. His second ultimate move is called Final Hunt. It's a one-time use move that deals 68% to the primary target and either 20% or 33% to a secondary target, depending on which part of the move they were hit by. His third ultimate move is called Rock Splitting Fist. It deals 38% to the primary target and 25% to a secondary target. His fourth move is called Crushed Rock. Crushed Rock is Garou's bread and butter. Donning a 10-second cooldown, it allows Garou to gap close relatively easily. It deals 26% to the primary target and 20% to a secondary target. Because all of his moves, base and ultimate, are generally centered around one-on-one scenarios, it's one of the main reasons he's used so much, and why you should use him too. Now that those are covered, we'll cover Stickiness. In simpler terms, Stickiness is the player being able to always stay near you. This is because Garou's base moveset features zero mobility, which is generally a bad thing. But because of this, he is forced to constantly stick to the opponent. The only problem with this is that some players are capable of zoning off Garou's completely, but trade in a lot of damage in doing so, which gives Stickiness its ups and downs. Now that those are out the way though, it's time to move on to the next reason of why he's so popular. His ability to fight teamers. One of Garou's best feats is that he is very capable of fighting teamers. To start, we'll discuss iframes. Remember when I said this would be important later? Well, one of the main reasons that Garou can fight teamers better than other characters is that all 4 of his base moves have iframes. This means that during the usage of the 4 moves, nothing can damage or interrupt him, aside from some ultimate moves which are designed to go through invincibility. And also, Praise Peril can be countered with either another Praise Peril or Atomic's counter. Pair his iframes with his ability to damage multiple opponents with his moves, you got yourself someone who can deal with teamers. And that isn't even mentioning his Siphon passive either. On Finisher, he gets a set amount of health back, which is super useful for fighting teamers. Finally, for the last reason, he's just fun. Experimenting with different combos, becoming a better player, the process makes it fun, and as a result, he is played a lot. My final rating for Garou would be an A+, because he isn't quite as strong as some of the other characters, but if played to perfection is unstoppable in a sense. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took me way longer to make than I thought it would, so apologies for the delay, but I hope to see you next time. See ya!